Question 3. A is 0, 4 and B is 10, 9. Work out the coordinates of the midpoint M of the line AB. Well, the midpoint is half the way along the line, or the line segment rather. So if I think about that, and I consider how far along this way. So this is 0, 4. Remember, it's not drawn accurately. It won't look right. That's 0, 4, and this is 10, 9. I'm just meaning it's not right, because if this was 4, if this was drawn accurately, and this distance was 4, then I would have 8 there, and 9 would be about here, but it's obviously not drawn accurately. So 0, 4 to 10, 9. What's my distance along here? My x distance would be 10, and my y distance here would be 5. So half of the way is going to be half of each of those. Okay, so half of the way would be 5, and this would be 2.5, 2.5. So I can just go, so my midpoint is going to be 5 along, it's from 0 to 5, and then 2.5 more than 4. So, 4.5, sorry, 4 plus 2.5 gives me 6.5. That's question A. Question B, work out the gradient of the line AB. So I've got the line A to B, and I need to work out the gradient of that line. Well, the gradient is the rise, or the change in the y value, over the run. And you just need to make sure you don't forget that, and you get that right. So it's the amount up or down divided by my amount across. So my gradient of that line is my amount up or down, which is 5, divided by my amount across, which is 10. So that is the same as 1/2. It's a straightforward couple of marks. Right, the last point. CD is the line perpendicular to AB that passes through M. Work out the equation of line CD. So what we're talking about is passing through M and perpendicular, or at right angles, to... Okay, so I'm just drawing it on there in order to help me see what I'm talking about. So right angles there, and it passes through M. So, firstly, perpendicular means that the gradients, gradients are negative reciprocals of one another. Okay, so I'm going to work out what the gradient has to be. Therefore, my gradient here we found out was half, didn't we? The gradient of AB is a half. Therefore, gradient of CD. Right, so the gradient of AB is a half, so the negative reciprocal of a half, I would turn it upside down and make it a negative, so it would be 2 over 1, or minus 2 over 1. So my gradient is minus 2. If you want to just check your negative reciprocals, they need to multiply together to give minus 1. So a half times by minus 2 equals minus 1. And from what I've seen in the mark scheme, the AQA like you to show this rather than just state the negative reciprocal. I don't know why, but they do. So gradients are negative reciprocals. The gradient of CD is minus 2. Right, and the other thing I know is that it passes through M. Now, if you didn't work out M, you could put any values in here and you could still get the 3 marks carried through. But I do know from here my values of M. So what I need to do is I need to write out the y equals, right, I know it's minus 2x, because that's my gradient, plus something, c. And this is the key part where some people just don't complete this step. I know some values of x and y that are on that line, so I can substitute them in. So I can say 6.5 equals minus 2 lots of 5 plus something, plus that c part. Okay. And now I'm just going to expand that out. 6.5 equals minus 10 plus c. So if I add 10 to both sides, I will work out what c is. So I'm just going to carry this on here. I'm sort of running a bit low on space. They haven't really perhaps allowed quite enough space for this question. So 16.5 equals c. So I know what c is. So now I can just write out. I've got y equals minus 2x, and I know what c is. So y equals minus 2x plus 16 will be my answer. Well, 16.5. Nearly made a little error, which would have cost me a mark. Y equals minus 2x plus 16.5.